the teachings are meant as antidotes to various afflictive emotions, or they're meant as methods to increase our positive emotions, right? But since different people have different mental dispositions and different backgrounds, then some techniques will have greater or less efficacy depending on the person, right? So there's many analogies of the Dharma as being like medicine, the Buddha being like a doctor, and the Sangha, or the spiritual community, being like the nurse, right? So actually, if one were to ask, what is the best medicine?
Dharma.
Yes, right. Okay. I'm talking like worldly medicine. Good answer, that's the right answer. In all my years of asking that as a rhetorical question, no one has said that. But I like it very much, thank you. The pills, what's the best pill?
One that treats the illness that you have.
Yes, thank you. That's the right conventional answer. The ultimate answer is here, nice. Okay, right? What illness does the patient have, And what, are they allergic to other kinds of medicines, A suitable doctor asks all these things first and then only dispenses the medicine, right? So similarly, with all of us, as we go through these various techniques described in the text, some will be very hit home, hit somewhere deep, and it'll really click and it'll benefit our minds in a great way. Others will be like, yeah, it's okay, but come on, something like this, right? It happens. So then what we're going to try to do is, as I gave the analogy yesterday, like a buffet, right? Various, at a buffet there's various dishes, and then here, if you don't like the spicy dishes, you can go get the whatever, right? All these things. You don't like rice, you can get the naan bread, whatever, okay? Similar, okay? All right. Yeah. So then what else did we talk about yesterday? Yeah. Then how we're doing this. You all have this booklet in front of you? Okay. So within this booklet there's a few things. The main thing in here is the 6th chapter of this Bodhisattva Charyavatara by Shantideva. Okay? But even before that, there are 2 outlines. One of the patience chapter of the great stages of the path to enlightenment, or Lamrim Chenmo, and then an outline of the Bodhisattva Charyavatara chapter 6. Okay? So actually, because I don't know how much time we have, and I want to give time to your questions, and I also want us to meditate a bit more. What I thought is I would teach on the basis of the outline of the patience chapter of the Lamrim Chenmo. Okay? Now, in each of these outlines, there are verses from Shantideva's text that we'll then consider. Okay? But, and then for each of those, we'll go back to the Shantideva verses, and then we'll do a bit of meditation on like that. So all of these various techniques, are outlined in the Bodhisattva Charyavatara, but I think doing it from the outline to the verses is better than going from the verses to the outline. That's my opinion. What do you guys think?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, just as a point of review, let's start then. We've covered the first two last night, but just in a very brief way. Let me read the. Okay, what I said last night. Yeah, in Tibetan, the word for patience is sopa. Yeah, okay, but this actually has multifacets. Yeah, it's a multifaceted word. It's translated here as patience, but it has the connotation of also, forbearance, the ability to withstand or endure hardships, tolerance, as well as patience. Okay? So just something with all of that inside.
Could you repeat it?
Yes.
Slowly.
Forbearance.
Ability to?
Withstand or endure hardship. Tolerance. And patience. Okay? And then we defined patience itself, okay? Or actually, this is the working definition of something that has all those forbearance, ability to withstand hardships, tolerance, and patience, yeah? Okay? The resolute response against adversity stemming from a settled temperament
Against adversity?
Stemming from a settled temperament, unperturbed temperament, settled temperament, undisturbed by either external or internal disturbance. So, there's a lot of big words in there, right? But basically what this means, when someone criticizes us, okay, see, a resolute response means not just being passive, but we have the option to either respond with anger and then, hurl insults back at the other person. But we say, no, I'm not going to do that. So it's an active choice that we're making, against adversity, against the harm we're receiving, yeah? Because stemming from a settled temperament, our mind is sort of settled, yeah, and unperturbed by internal or external circumstances or disturbances, right? So no matter what someone might say to us, then our mind remains settled, unperturbed by this external disturbance. And because of that, then we can make that resolute choice. No, I'm not going to just react to this person's insult like this. Yeah? So that's what being patient in this context means. Okay?
And this definition comes from where?
So this definition comes from, also Kabirji asked me this morning, this comes from an oral teaching by His Holiness the Dalai Lama on this topic. So I didn't make it up. But anyway, even if I did, so that's the other thing, right? Where we're saying, even if the Dalai Lama says, we also have to check. Probably on the debate courtyard, I don't know if this could really stand up. It's very difficult to define things very precisely, but use this kind of as a working definition. And whatever the case, this, whatever I've explained, is a quality we want to have, definitely. Now, patience in general might also include a bit more than this, but this is a damn good start. Right? Okay, so that's what patience is. Yeah, the first thing, first outline. How to begin the cultivation of patience. That's what we did last night as well. And what did we do for that? Did you come last night?
Yeah.
Okay, were you sitting there?
No.
See. Okay. How did we start the beginning of cultivation of patience?
Yeah.
How?
How we started?
Yeah.
Ballet training.
On what?
On how the anger arises in us.
Okay, but in particular, the faults of anger. Yeah? Remember, we did this at the end? Okay? So with anything, okay, we're going to be having to exert a lot of effort to become patient, right? Because our habitual tendency is not to be patient. Yeah. So to create a new habit, we need to exert effort. So before we undertake something where we have to exert a lot of effort, it's good to reflect on, okay, the advantages of doing so and the disadvantages of not doing so, right? I mean, okay, before, when did like jogging and exercise come to be like popular? Yeah. Anyway, like if someone, okay, let's just imagine so many years ago, someone's like, okay, yeah, let's go run for like, an hour. Like, what? Why should I do that? Right? But then when you learn about the benefits for, health and, all this stuff, right? Then you're like, oh, okay. Since you see the benefits of doing it, then you're more likely to do it, right? So same thing here. So we reflected on the disadvantages of being angry, yeah? And this, maybe you guys, even the newcomers, you see, right? Have you all gotten angry before? Yes? You have?
Every day.
Every day, yeah? Yeah. And how's that like? Not fun. Right? Okay. Anyway, in the text, it does describe how anger is unique in that not only does it impel us to commit negative actions, but it also destroys the positive actions that we've done. Okay. But the thing that that we talked about last night is in the text it talks about it destroys 1,000 eons of merit, right? But we don't even have to worry about eons. We can just think of this life that there's a lot of work we put into different things, and then getting angry can just destroy that, even from a worldly perspective. Okay? Yes?
There's a couple of sayings I read.
Okay.
Don't get angry, get even.
Oh.
And there's another one called revenge is a dish best eaten cold.
Yes. Best served cold.
Best served.
Yeah.
Is anger at all linked to fear? Are we afraid of something?
Well, it can be. It can be. So we're going to be examining how anger arises, yeah, and definitely when we are afraid, then anger can manifest, So we'll come back to this, okay? Now, you sir, with this whole thing of retribution and all this kind of stuff, that revenge, that's not the Buddhist way. So I think those people who said that, they didn't come to a workshop like this. So, I mean, we're going to get into it, but the point is, right, when someone harms us, right, is done, right? So getting back at them it doesn't actually do anything to the harm that they've given us. You know? It's not like we go back in time and change, you know? We might think, okay, then if we harm them back, then that'll show them, and next time they think of harming me, they'll think twice, right? Right? So worldly people talk like that, yeah? But now that we start to learn about the patience in the Buddhist context, we have to remember karma, yeah? And actually, we'll get into this more in detail, but you see, karma means that actually whatever we are experiencing is the kind of ripening effect or the fruits of actions that we've done in the past, okay? So this person, we've harmed someone, okay, we receive harm today. Why? Because in the past we've harmed someone, okay? So then it's finished. But then to get them back for their harm they've done today, if we again harm them, then what do? We just create the causes for future harm, you know? And though it goes like this, right? So even forget about karma for a second. We even see this in the world, like in many of the like conflicts, let's say in Palestine and Israel, right? It's like, you know, okay, there's one terrorist bombing, okay, so then they bomb the other one, and then they have to bomb them, you know, all this, right? An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind, right? So that's what we have to think about and consider, you know? Okay. So as I said yesterday, I'll just say it again because it's a very, it actually encapsulates the whole purpose. But undisciplined persons are as limitless as space. You can never overcome them. If you conquer the single mental state of anger, it is like vanquishing all of your enemies. Where could you get enough leather to cover the entire surface of the earth? Wearing just the leather of your sandals is like covering all the earth. Similarly, I cannot change external things, but when I can change my mind, why do I need to change anything else? Okay? So this is the point. We are not going, along the path of getting revenge on the, so Kabirji, that's actually in chapter 5.
Yeah.
Okay, great. 12 to 14, I think. We're not going along the path of, you know, trying to subdue the external enemy of the person who harmed us, but the internal enemy of anger. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So now, how to begin the cultivation of patience. We reflected on last night on the disadvantages of anger, yeah, and then also by extension the advantages of being patient. Okay. So. Do you need more propaganda on the advantages of patience?
No, but I have a question. Yesterday, someone had mentioned about anger arising because of self-protection or the feelings of self-worth. Did you mention it?
Yeah.
And you're talking about a resolute response. You're not talking about non-action.
That's right.
So say, for example, a child is bullied in school.
Yeah.
So the feelings of anger will arise. They might not do anything in response, but what does one then do with that feeling? Because obviously you're just going to hurt yourself with it.
Yeah.
But there's also this idea of self-worth and self-protection, and you want those people to know that they can't treat you like that.
Yeah.
So where does that sort of fit into this idea of patience?
Okay, yeah, great. Let us, we'll be addressing this question. It's a big question. We'll be addressing this over our time together today. So let's, thank you for asking. And let's keep that, you heard the question, right? Let's all keep that question in mind as we go through the text, and then we'll see how it plays out. Okay. But just now, when we say it's active response, means sometimes an active response can be choosing not to respond. Do you know what I mean? So it's like biting your tongue instead of saying something nasty to the other person, you know. But we're emphasizing that it's a choice that we make, not just passive, you know. But in any case, we'll get to this. Okay?